Guys, welcome back to some more reviews, and today talk about the classic film Carrie from 1976 with a 7.4 on IMDb, and directed by Brian D. Palma, who was the director of, he directed Mission Impossible, cool, Mission to Mars, I heard about that movie, he directed Scarface the remake, heck yeah, directed, let's see now, directed some other movies. He directed Dressed to Kill, which is another horror movie I heard about. But today I'll be talking about Carrie, the 1976 classic. Now, this is one of those Stephen King movies I actually read the book for. And I didn't read it all the way through, though. I read it to like the mid part of the book. Before prom night, it was actually as they were getting ready to go to prom night. Actually, I think they actually were there. It was before the whole, breakout with the freaking special effects, stuff like that. Before the whole telekinesis massacre thing, it was actually right before that, the part where they're just pretty much dancing and stuff like that. That was the last part of the book I remember reading, and the book is really good. The movie's a classic, but the book is really explicit. And the book is a little bit different than the movie in a good way. It's a lot more explicit, has more of a background about what happened. I like the idea in the book, how it explains, how when Carrie was little, she would get mad and these stones would start raining from the in the sky basically, and they start falling down whenever she get angry as a little kid. I like the idea of sort of as you're reading through the book, you read these little news articles about what happened at the high school and about basically piecing together the story until the end of the book. My apologies for saying in the movie, but in the book, it's just like really cool because you get to read there's the character in the movie and also in the book, Sue Snell. She pretty much in the book is writing this book that she's talking about how basically Carrie was being bullied a lot. It's in the book, Carrie, and she's basically, it's hard to explain. Sue in the book, it's just sort of like some of the pages have those little articles on it, and it'll be by Sue Snell, and it's not really like a newspaper. It'll still have regular, typing, but it'll be typed out as sort of a newspaper. And it'll say also like it's written like a book sometime, like another book that Sue wrote, talking about how Carrie, basically it was getting bullied and pushed to a point where she pretty much snapped. And, I really liked the idea of them having like news articles and, other books within the book. Pretty cool idea. But, so yeah, I really enjoyed the book from what I read so far. I pretty much read most of the book. I just didn't read the last part of the book, which is pretty much where chaos starts. And the telekinesis kills people, so like that. I read like right before that, so I read most of the book. But the movie is done very well. It's shot well. It's acted well. You got Sissy Spacek in the movie. She does a great job as Carrie, and she's been in a lot of movies. She's been in. I remember she was in that movie, which I didn't like the movie, but I thought she did a great job in the movie. It was like an American Haunting or something like that. Yeah, an American Haunting. I thought the movie sucked, but I thought her performance in the movie was pretty good. And she's Spacek. She's been in a lot of movies, and she did a great job in this movie. Great job as Carrie. And basically, who doesn't know about Carrie? It's a classic story. You got this girl named Carrie, and she has a crazy religious mom who, sort of takes the beliefs way too far and, decides to basically go crazy and stuff like that. And she's a Christian, but she's really crazy. She forces Carrie to, basically she like puts Carrie in a closet and forces her to admit all of her sins and to pray, and she forces her to pray. She beats Carrie. You feel really sorry for Carrie in the movie. A lot of sympathy for Carrie, because she's always getting beat by her mom, and if she's not getting beat by her mom and stuff like that, she's getting bullied at school. And just they did a great job making you really feel for Carrie and making you really just feeling bad for Carrie, because she does go through a lot in the movie. And pretty much she's in school and She doesn't talk much. She at the beginning of the movie, you got that tampon scene where in the book it was a little bit more explicit, and it seemed like in the book it was more grueling. Because when it was happening in the book, it felt like it was happening for like 20 minutes. And in the book, that Stephen King does a great job doing this. He explains it with great detail, and he does a lot of things in his books. Two things I really do think that he does really good in his books is develop some characters, because he does develop really cool characters and likable characters. Also, he puts a lot of detail into the scenes of the book, and it really makes you picture out what's going on. And it was really grueling in the book, and in the movie, it's just, it's still shocking, but in the book, it felt grueling, and it was like one of those things where you kept reading, you're like, oh man, they're just torturing her. And then it was very impactful in the book. It's still impactful in the movie, but it was a little bit more impactful in the book. But you got the tampon scene where they're throwing tampons and saying plug it up, because Carrie has her period. She doesn't know what a period is. She's getting bullied a lot in school. Like I said, she got a crazy mom. And all that leads up to pretty much her getting asked to prom. And of course, she thinks that, they're playing a prank on her. But then the guy that asked her out he's pretty much the boyfriend to another girl. But the other girl's pretty much Sue. She's feeling sorry about, bullying Carrie. And she wants to make it up to her for having her boyfriend take Carrie to prom to sort of, apologize to Carrie in a way. And, also to have, basically so Carrie can have a good time, so that nobody's bullying her, so that she can have fun. And, they go to prom, and, it's really a really good scene where, Carrie looks like she's really happy. She's really enjoying herself. Prom's going good, got music, and it all leads up to pretty much when she gets on the stage, she gets elected as the queen of the prom, and you find out that it was all set up. This girl, try to get the character's name. See now, it was Chris Hargensen, played by Nancy Allen. She did a good job playing the bully. I mean, she really made you not like this character, because she pretty much bullies Carrie through the entire movie, all the way leading up to her getting kicked out of prom, and then she tries to get basically revenge on Carrie for getting her kicked out of prom. And pretty much, she and her boyfriend, Billy Nolan, played by John Travolta. I think this was actually his first role in the film. And, John Travolta did a great job as Billy, sort of this guy who sort of beats women and stuff like that. Kind of a doofus kind of character. I mean, not kind of a doofus. Kind of like a guy that thinks he's better than everybody else. Sort of, he's got a freaking, I don't know how to explain it. He's like one of those guys who thinks he's better than everybody else. Pretty much a jerk. And, he did a great job playing Billy. You've also got Tommy Ross played by William Cott. You've also got Margaret White playing, you got Piper Laurie playing Margaret White, pretty much Carrie's mom. And, like I said, they go to prom. They get, selected for the king and queen of prom, and pretty much they put pig blood in a pail or in a bucket. They dump it out all over Carrie. Carrie snaps. You have that scene where she's pretty much really, really well done scene where it's shot well, where the screen splits. You see someone over here getting like electrocuted. It splits over here, and you see someone getting like smashed by an object or something like that. And all of it's done like a close up on SpaceX's face. And then you got that scene where she goes like, down, doors closed, down, doors closed. Really well done scene, classic scene. People getting killed left and right. And then finally she gets out of there, and then Carrie, walks out. Billy and Chris decide they weren't going to hit Carrie because she pretty much killed everybody. So they get in a car. They're driving. And I thought this was handled more better than the remake with cartoony CGI, which is a really big problem with the remake. But pretty much they're driving. The car pretty much tips over and it basically explodes. And she goes back to her house. Her mom snapped, trying to kill her. She has to kill her mom. She feels very, very bad about what happened, and she pretty much makes the house crumple in, and it pretty much falls apart and falls in and basically, kills Carrie. and you got Sue coming back the next day. You got jump scare, of course, silly jump scare, not really that scary. And you find out that Sue, is having nightmares, stuff like that, about what happened to Carrie, and it's pretty much the end of the movie. I know it's a quick plot, but that's if you haven't seen Carrie, I definitely recommend you see it. I mean, it's a classic, it's a must see, and I mean, it's just who hasn't seen Carrie, and even that who hasn't heard about Carrie. I mean, it's like one of those movies, like The Exorcist, or Halloween, or Friday the 13th, Freddy Krueger movies, Nightmare on Elm Street movies. People have heard about Carrie. Most people I know, they've heard about Carrie. Especially with this remake coming out. I don't like the remake, but I can say that it would basically, it made basically people think about, it made more people think about, basically realize that Carrie, I'm not explaining it. It sort of reinvented Carrie so that this new generation would know Carrie, what Carrie the movie is. But I get it. It was trying to reinvent the movie, trying to bring it up to the generation. But honestly, guys, I don't like the Carrie remake because it's got terrible CGI. It's exactly like the first. It's exactly like this movie, only not as good. You got more CGI, like I said, bad CGI, terrible acting. Besides maybe Carrie, and the guy that played Tommy in the movie, and the girl that played Sue. Besides those characters, I didn't care about the girl that played Chris. I didn't care about the guy that played freaking Billy. I didn't care about any other character. Like the gym, pretty much the gym teacher who helps Carrie out in this movie. She does a great job. Well, I think it's Priscilla Pointer, I believe. It might be Priscilla Pointer. I'm not sure. But one of the teachers helps out Carrie, and she would also make a return in Carrie 2, only to get killed. So, I mean, it was kind of a... Actually, I think it was Sue Snell. Yeah, Sue Snell comes back. Amy Ivorine, she would come back in Carrie 2, not one of the teachers that helped her out. Because the gym teacher, she dies, so it's actually Sue Snell that comes back in the second movie. And they actually got Piper Laurie to come back. And what happens in the freaking Carrie 2? She freaking dies in a bullcrap way. I hate that because, like, you bring back a character, she does a great job in the movie, she's a good actress, in the movie, she's a likable character, trying to help out this new girl, she's trying to help her, and then she gets killed. And then pretty much Carrie 2 pretty much copied Carrie 1. The tattoos are different. Yeah, but, it's still the same idea. Pretty much. Still the same idea. At least to me, it seemed like it was more of a copy of Carrie. Only making it more of a garbage way. Sorry, if you like Carrie 2, I know it gets mixed thoughts. I know people say they like it. People say they think it's decent. People think it's bad, awful, terrible. I think it's garbage. Pure, simple garbage, the sequel. The rated Carrie 2 is freaking garbage. And this movie, like I said, it gets 7.4 IMDb. I can see why it gets that. It's a classic. It's well made. It's well directed. Definitely based off a really good book by Stephen King, which I really do recommend you guys read. It's really good. If you guys love the movie Carrie, you haven't read the book yet, read the book. The book is really cool. And the book also explains a little bit about the background about how Carrie became Carrie, how she got the powers, which I know they explain a little bit of it in Carrie 2. They explain that, I guess Carrie's dad had the gene of telekinesis, and then I guess when her dad, her mom, had a baby, Carrie had telekinesis. And you find that out in the book, and you also find out in the sequel. Then you find, like I said, the stones fall from the sky in the book. Just a lot of information in the book that the movie really didn't have. I mean, it did do a good job. I mean, without explaining it, but at the same time, if you want to learn a little bit more about the backstory about what happened, how Carrie got the powers, what happened with Carrie when she was younger, basically, how Carrie became the character that she is in the movie. In the book, they explain it a little bit more, so it gives a little bit more backstory. So yeah, like I said, also the book is just written well, it's done well. Nailed the suspense. It's got gore in it. Definitely a gory book. Like I said, good suspense. In the book, it really does create the characters really well. And well done book. And it's also this is a well done movie. So guys, yeah, Carrie's a classic. So yeah, thanks for watching my review on Carrie, and I'll see you guys in the next review. Bye guys.